Hey guys, on today's Coverage with Carly, we're talking about the type of insurance policies that you need to own and operate a restaurant. Now, I'm not talking about the simple one like you need workers' compensation and disability insurance if you have employees, and then if you own a restaurant, you most likely have employees. I'm talking about the coverages. So I'm going to talk about 5 coverages that you need to make sure that you have either built in or separately for your insurance policy. Hey guys, I'm Mike Crowley. I'm the owner at the Crowley Insurance Agency. When you own and operate a restaurant, you have tons of things going on. And one thing that you shouldn't have to worry about is figuring out what type of insurance is needed. So here's going to be 5 quick things that you need to make sure that you have if you have a restaurant. Obviously, you need liability insurance. Liability insurance is going to protect people from if they get sick on your food. But a lot of times it's also known as the slip and fall coverage. Somebody slips and falls in your restaurant, gets hurt. The medical expenses that arise from that is going to come off of your liability coverage. Now, liability coverage is pretty basic for every business, and all businesses should have some form of general liability coverage. Another form of coverage that you need to have built into your general liability policy as an endorsement or an addition is business income coverage. If something happens to your restaurant where you need to shut down so that they can repair, replace, rebuild, whatever the case may be, you need to make sure that you have income still coming in to pay your necessary expenses like your payroll and your lost income, all those kind of things, so that when your restaurant is fixed, you can reopen and you're not completely out of business. Another big addition that's built into your business owner's policy for restaurants is food spoilage. Same thing, if something happens to your walk-in freezer, there's a fire in your kitchen, anything along those lines, you want to make sure that the money that you've spent on all that food that you have stored in that kitchen, if that gets spoiled due to a dysfunctional freezer or a power outage or any of those kind of things, that you have the coverage to replace that. Another obvious one, but one to at least point out, is building and contents coverage. Building and contents coverage are built into most business owners' policies as well, but you need to make sure that you have the appropriate limits. If you own the building, you got to make sure that you have enough building coverage to replace it on a replacement cost basis. If you don't own the building, but say you've invested a lot of money on betterments and improvements into that restaurant, you want to make sure that you can get that money back in case you lose everything that you put into it. And lastly, you got to make sure that you have enough for contents. The amount of equipment and furniture and all this certain stuff, not including just food, that is inside your restaurant will add up significantly if something happens. Making sure you have an appropriate amount of coverage, so if the whole place is a total loss and you're rebuilding, that you have enough to replace what you need. And lastly, and probably one of the most important ones that a lot of restaurants and taverns overlook, is liquor liability coverage. Liquor liability coverage is going to protect you in the event that somebody gets hurt in an accident after they leave your establishment after having alcohol to drink and causes any bodily injury or property damage. If you're responsible for serving that person, maybe serving that person too much, you could be brought in on that lawsuit. Liquor liability is a very overlooked coverage and really should be added to any establishment that serves alcohol. If you own a restaurant and if you want to talk about some of the coverages that's best for you, to find the best product for you and for your restaurant, please click the link in the description below for the next step. Our team will gladly craft together a perfect policy to cover your specific restaurant. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful. If so, please hit the thumbs up like button below. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again soon.